All right, so somebody just commented on one of my reels for the podcast. Actually, instead of explaining this, it's probably easier for me to just bring it over here. So this is the comment. As you can see, it came in about 25 minutes ago on today. Just to prove that it's today, you can. Well, I guess I could set this up, but yeah, like you can see that it's 25 minutes ago, and today is the 7th. So this just went out today. But this guy, I'll probably just post this as a response to it too. I think I can post a video here. He's saying basically that the ChatGPT's one of ChatGPT's weaknesses is current information, which that's kind of true. It just depends on what you're doing, right? This is one of the reasons why I tell people you need to make sure that you are solving for the release schedules, right? Like all the models are trained up into a point. I want to say that the most recent 5.5 update to ChatGPT, I could be off on this, ends December 2025. I think before that it was sometime in August 2025, but I think the most recent 5.5 update, which happened before the end of the year, I think that maybe that was 5.4. I can't remember. Who can keep up with these things? But the whole point is they have a specific cutoff date for their training data. That's one of the main reasons why they put one of the main things that they put as an update to the release. When you see it goes from ChatGPT 5.5 to 5.6, eventually you'll see that that update is probably going to change. It's probably going to go through like April or February or March or something like that of 2026. So this guy's saying that he asked it who the current president is, and it told him, it didn't say Donald Trump. It said the previous, it keeps mentioning Donald Trump as the previous president. Now, the previous president part, it may be true. Like you may be talking to it in context and saying, hey, for Donald Trump, blah, 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 and asking a question. And because it's cutoff data should be updated, but technically he should come up, right? Like the problem there is you have to solve for it. But I'm going to test this because I figure I might as well, test it while I have it open. I was working on some of my daily content. So what better way to test it than to open up my chat GPT and just start a new chat and ask it, who's the current U.S. whoops president of the USA? Let's see what it says. I'm pretty sure it's going to say Donald Trump, and it'll probably give the date on when he was president or something like that. Yeah, 47th president, January 20th, 2025. So yeah, I'm not seeing this, but I don't think that this is off base specifically, especially if you are. I think some of this stuff might be even more nuanced to solve for, depending on where you're connecting to the tool from. But you would think things like being able to come down here and click on web search would be something that you could do if you're having that issue, specifically if you're trying to go for current events. Anytime I'm doing something with current events, like you'll see my weekly posts where I put out stuff like for the last week tonight in AI, where I kind of aggregate all the big news that came from the previous week, and I put it out every Sunday between 7 and 8 p.m. I have web search on for that. Now, ChatGPT is not the only tool that I use for that to make sure and double check, but I make sure I turn on web search. And I also do things like say, if there's a story that's cited to be included in that post, I tell ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, whichever one I'm using, to verify it by at least 3 credible sources. And in my training data, in my project instructions where I'm developing those, if you can see right here, I have a bunch of projects. This is the one that I use for that. And you can see the one that I did for this week is right here. So in the instruction sets for this, inside these instructions, see how I have instructions in here? At some point throughout this, it has the acceptance criteria for what a good source to cite is for a specific story from a creditable source, right? So I have instructions in there on how to do that. So if you're trying to be specific about stuff, especially current event stuff, you always want to make sure that you are prompting that way. This is the reason why when people say to me like, man, this latest update to ChatGPT, I talked about this recently in I think my last episode of the podcast. It's messing everything up. It's stupid. It's not doing what I never, very, very rarely do I have any issues like that because my prompting, the way I have my stuff set up, it solves for that. It ensures that it checks all the things it needs to check so that when it's bringing back things, there's a level of redundancy and source criteria validation that removes the ambiguity out of it so it knows exactly what I'm looking for. And that's kind of what you have to go for with these LLMs. You can't just ask it a question. And it's tough, right? Because they've gotten so good lately of reading between the lines to what people are asking for that they can kind of infer that's part of their secret sauce, their pattern recognition systems, that they're able to just take it and then think about previous past conversations they've had with that particular user, what other users are asking, if there's something in its training data that will allow it to fill in the blanks. But I solve all of that most of the time. I don't let it just think it knows what I want. I tell it exactly what I want. So yeah, I think that might be part of your issue. But yeah, man, I'm not seeing it. It says that Donald J. Trump is the president, and he was sworn in last year in January. So yeah, I figured I would just do this live just to see because every now and then I'll see something like this, and sometimes it's true, sometimes it happens for me, but this case it actually didn't. It's showing me exactly what I would expect it to show me. So yep, quick video. Well, it was supposed to be a quick video. It's going on 7 minutes now, but anyway, there you go.